Autonomy motivation is something that we all can relate to. We all do it. We are all very self-driven generally and want to work to complete goals on our own. Excuse me. And then this is sorry, former CEO and chairman of GE, Jack Welch, said, "The world belongs to passionate and driven people." This sums up autonomy very well, as almost every successful person in this planet was filled with autonomy motivation and it used that to get to where they are now, much like Jack Welch. Competence, autonomy, relatedness. They all are three basic human needs that help form self-determination theory. Self-determination theory is tells us how we behave in healthy ways, effective ways. It supports our natural intrinsic motivations. Then, continuing on with that, the theory was initially developed by Edward L. Deci and Richard M. Ryan. STD proposes that the degree to which any of these three physical needs is unsupported within a social context will have a robust detrimental in wellness and so then we have purpose motivation. Many times when we're working at a job, we ask ourselves, why am I doing this? What is the purpose? This drives many people to go out and find purpose in their work. It drives them to succeed so they can feel a sense of accomplishment. Excuse me. Research shows that which give people the greatest sustained energy and motivation are those which have personal meaning. They are connected to a larger purpose. They provide a sense of, well, sorry, the purpose level addresses the extent. Then we have meaning. World famous physicist Stephen Hawking once said, "Work gives you meaning and purpose, and life is empty without it." Meaning is just like purpose. Will constantly ask yourself, what is the point? Why am I here? You will, again, work harder to find your meaning in life. So what gives your life meaning? People want to feel like that what they're doing has meaning and is appreciated by others. Employees will generally work harder in an attempt to give their job more meaning, and they will have a higher satisfaction on their life. The next one we have is going to be reward motivation. We all are driven by rewards, whether it be monetary or any form of reward. For example, many companies will use an employee of the month parking spot. Other companies that are sales oriented will focus on a monetary reward for a person, for the top salesperson at the company. Then we have this quote: "People work for money, but go the extra mile for praise and rewards." Employees appreciate recognition. They want to know that what they're doing is known and it's not going without recognition. But as the quote says, it is we work harder for the recognition more so than the money. Then we have power. People are driven to succeed and obtain power. Some people will do it at any means necessary. Here we have Angela Merkel, the first female chancellor of Germany. She achieved her power despite many barriers and was able to accomplish many things. Then we have Jeff Bezos, Amazon founder. He did not have as many barriers as Angela Merkel. However, during his career, Amazon was a small book distributor when I first started and was not extremely successful. But his drive for power pushed them to succeed and get Amazon where they are now. Then we have voice. There are many people in this world who don't have a voice. So there are people fighting for that, whether it be Emma Gonzalez, a Parkland shooting survivor, fighting for the rights of her fallen classmates, whether it be Alexandria Ocasio-Cortez, fighting for the social classes who also are without a voice. Then there's another great example, Michael Orr. He was determined to prove people wrong. At one point, he was just a homeless teenager with no direction. Then met these people who became his family, took him in, and pushed him to succeed in life and achieve his dreams.
Blindside, right?
Blindside, yes.
Yeah.
So everyone's motivation is different. This is my motivation. This is my family back in 2000. I am the very handsome guy in the middle with that horrible haircut. Everyone has different motivations, but this is mine. I am now going to hand it over to Gabe. Thank you very much.
Thank you, Nick. So motivation essentially is the core of any business that you own or any business that anyone owns. Motivation is the essential part of a business and can be responsible for many different things like rewards, goals, supportive peers, friendly environment, uh, challenges, and it basically says that you can take any employee and tell them that they can do something. You can change their I can't mindset to something that they can. You can use your rewards to help someone find the confidence back and be able to do things that they never thought that they would think that they can do, just because you're giving them words of encouragement. Now, what this means is you're going to have a higher employee retention rate. And what that means is that you're going to keep your employees working for you longer and longer without having them leave or call out most of the time, which can lead to a better work culture. And in the end, for your company or for any company, it'll save you money. And this is all free. This can all be done in your head. All this motivation can be done as a leader and as anyone in the company, even to support your peers. This can all be done straight through your head, and it doesn't cost any money. Just giving them words of encouragement or giving them something to do will allow them to be free and express themselves. For example, we have Google. So Google creates this fun work environment where you can be creative and express yourself in the way that you want. Creating a good work environment the way Google does allows your mind to be more motivated and allows you to express yourself more. Whereas if you were in a boring desk job where you're confined to your own space, you wouldn't be able to do that. And with that, you're able to do what you love and love what you do. So people, for example, at Google, probably love what they do, not only because they probably get a lot of money, but they also have a great team environment and work environment in general, where they can expand their creativity and become the best person that they can be. Doing this will save the businesses money in the long run. While motivating your employees is free, uh, it'll also, in the long run, save your business money and it'll make employees work harder and harder every day to stay and be more and more motivated to want to make the business much better than what it already is. So if you're a business and you don't have enough money or you're a small business and you're starting up, instead of giving them raises every week or every month, whatever you want to do to save money, maybe you could just say words more of encouragement. That way you can get your employees to work harder and harder and be more and more motivated every day. So I used to work a couple jobs before I came to college, and the first one being Six Flags. And Six Flags, although it's a great place, is a terrible place to work in. And we basically answered calls to any complaints that people had, and I never got to see my employees because we would always be separate from each other. We just have a radio. And the next job I had after that was in retail at American Eagle, and retail is just as terrible. Um, we basically went in and we didn't talk to each other. We pretty much just folded clothes, and everyone just felt like they just wanted a paycheck and they just wanted to leave. Whereas now, I'm in a I'm in the Radisson Hotel and I work as a banquet waiter. And although the work is much more tedious and harder, I have more and more peers around me that are working with me to support me. While at the same time, the upper staff is doing a great job motivating and getting people to stay and work for them longer and longer. An example of that is this is one picture that we had during our end of the year party, where at the end of the season we all got together at our manager's house and we just had a couple games and we just had an overall good time with each other, and it really motivated each and every one of us to want to come back the next season and work harder and harder to do that. Now, doing that makes all of us working there have a higher retention rate, as I said earlier, for the company. Because of this, uh, mo- uh, the more motivated we are, the more we want to go to work, the more and more times where we don't feel like we want to call out and just not feel like going to work. So with that, we have a little kind of crew with us during work because we all know each other. We all know what each other's personal likes are, and we could all get along with each other. And thus, that translates into the workplace because we can solve more and more problems with each other, and we can communicate with each other in the ways that we know how to communicate with each other. For human resources wise, uh, it basically takes away half the equation from recruiting to training because now we can just focus on evaluating and promoting, and the way we can do that is that we'll be able to take the people that are already trained and help them grow and to become a better person than they are. And that generally leads to motivation. So this all stems through, that generally leads to innovation, excuse me, and that generally stems through motivation. So all of this can be stemmed down, and the innovation part is when more and more people understand the company and they can see the problems because they've been there for a long time, so they can go and help and provide a higher quality product for everyone that is there. A higher quality product, a higher quality service, because they generally care, because they are motivated. So because they care and because they are driven and they want to work more and more for the company because they're motivated, it'll provide a better quality. Whereas if an unmotivated person would, they would just want to go there, just like how I did for American Eagle and Six Flags, to just go there and simply collect a paycheck and be gone. I wouldn't want to interact with anyone, but I just wanted to get in there and get out. And that's more what an unmotivated employee would do. And that's generally not good for the business. And in the end, for a motivated and unmotivated employee, the motivated employee will still end up learning, whereas the unmotivated employee will not learn as much. They will retain the information, but they have no desire or need to want to go out and apply that to their work because they simply just don't care as much as the motivated people. This will create a better work environment for everybody. It'll overall create more money for the company where you can have uh, employees that are more willing to cooperate and be determined. And you'll have a higher employee retention rate and you'll be able to have many benefits. And it all stems down to motivation, which is essentially free. As long as you can have this motivation for people, the motivation will stem through the leaders into the employees and create a better work environment for everyone. And to talk to you more about motivation, I have my friend Valerie.
Hi guys. So I wanted to talk to you about motivating your employees. So a company's most valuable asset is their employees. You invest your time, your effort into them to make them the best employees that you can possibly make them. So our goal as a company is to create motivated employees. Um, so there's two different types of ways to motivate employees. So it's intrinsic and extrinsic motivation, which Paige had already talked to you about. So different people are motivated by different reasons. So you want to make sure that you are motivating everybody the way that they are going to be motivated. So some people are motivated by money. Some people are motivated by like more intrinsic things like what they want to do and what they don't want to do. So buy-ins are a good way to see the bigger picture. You want to get people to buy into your vision of the company because you want to um, contributing. You want to get your employees to contribute because their ideas will make the company better in the end. You want to hear what they have to say because they are the people that are closest to the work. So you want to get them to contribute and get their point of views in. Recognition. You want to do reward achievements. You want to reward their achievements and um, uh, you want to do personal and publicly recognized accomplishments. So you want to recognize them personally, like to themselves, and you want to recognize them to everybody. One thing that we did at my job was we had these purple flowers, and for everybody who got a credit card, they got one flower. So after you got 5 flowers, you would get a gift card. If you were the top credit card getter in the entire like store, you got a free item. And then you want to be both positive and make sure that you're not being negative when you're talking to your employees, um, because being negative just destroys the morale. When you're bringing positivity, you're creating a positive work environment where you want to make sure that everybody feels like they are like in an environment that is going to help them grow. And if it's positive, um, it makes them work more efficiently. Keeping employees informed is going to be one way to create a positive work environment. This is a quote by Benjamin Franklin. It says, tell me and I forget, teach me and I remember, involve me and I learn. So if you're getting your employees involved and you are showing them um, how to do things and you're not keeping them in the dark, it's going to help you in the long run. Ways to keep employees informed would be in-person meetings, which is one of the best ways because that's face-to-face contact. You could also do conference calls, emails, and text messages. My company tends to do conference calls and emails the most, and I feel like that's the most effective for my company. Um, so you want to also develop your employees because that will motivate them to want to be in the business more. Like you want to teach them how to go to different levels of the company. You want to provide coaching and help them reach their own goals. You also want to bring their aspirations into the aspirations of the company. So if you help them become better, they're going to eventually help the company become better. Workforce satisfaction. So talent is hard to come by and it's also hard to keep. So you want to make sure that you're developing your talent, your employees, because in the long run, they're the people that are doing the work. And one of the people that I used to work with, her name was Jay. She was a salesperson. I work in retail. So she was a salesperson, and we had an open back room spot. She was good at tasking, so we eventually decided to move her to the back room. She thought it was going to be too difficult for her. She moved back there, and she ended up loving it back there and never wanted to go back to the sales floor again. She just liked tasking so much, and it was just a great way to learn how to train people in different, like cross training is great because eventually in the end you need to be able to teach somebody else what you already know so you can get them onto that same level. And like lack of training leads to frustrated employees. It also brings down employee morale because if they don't know what they're training for, if they don't know what they're supposed to be doing, what their expectations are, then they're not going to be able to meet the expectations. Um, Communication is key. You want to make sure that you are giving positive feedback to your employees because if you're giving positive feedback, then they are going to make the changes, whereas negative feedback um, if you give negative feedback, they feel like they are like not being helpful to the company and it might make them want to leave and you don't want to lose talent. Um, so next up, I'm going to have Ryan.
It's click it. I click it. Wait, did that work? Yeah. Okay, so I'm going to talk to you guys today about theories of motivation for managers. Managers ultimately what they want to do is they want to be able to inspire their employees so that way their employees are motivated, they create progress, and the business overall will become more successful. And when managers set goals, they want to set goals that are specific, measurable, attainable, and basically just make it so it's more achievable. Scientific management, it's a relatively new term that just came out of a business, in the business environment. Basically moving away from a singular way of doing things. It's not about what you do, it's more about why you do it and who you do it with. So no singular way of doing things. Tasks should be scientifically backed. Away. So yeah, less autonomy, think big, be fearless. Don't focus on how much you put out, but basically the quality you put out. Work more as a team. It's not an individual. We are not an individual age. You have to work together to achieve success. Deliver excellent service, and overall just have the managers do the research and planning for the businesses. Basically, go in, do the research and plan for what your employees should be doing. That's what managers should be doing in order to manage the work. Employees should be able to, well, managers should be able to have employees go in and set certain tasks for them to be able to do. Another theory I wanted to go into right now is theory X and theory Y. Employees manage based off of these two theories. Theory X, managers believe that employees are very not motivated, lazy, whereas theory Y, they are self-motivated and they could all work together and contribute. So managers feel more like they have to control everything that employees do. They have to motivate them because they have basically zero motivation. So theory Y, the opposite of that, employees are motivated. We have to bring everybody together, set a common goal, and employees are expected to go after that goal. And they have to put all the effort into doing that. Next thing I want to talk about is operant conditioning. Specific consequences are associated with it. They want to reinforce positive rewards for it, increase a behavior. They want to punish bad behaviors or give them feedback on what they should be improving. All of us, as stated earlier, motivated by Maslow's hierarchy of needs. When employers need to realize that employees cannot reach self-actualization needs unless their survival needs, their social needs, and their self-esteem is very high. There's no way to become successful without it. Survival needs, employees need sleep. Employees need to socialize. Employees need to eat. It's the only way they can become productive. Social needs next. So people individually need to have their confidence built in. They're not going to go the extra mile if they don't really have the confidence to do it. They're going to be stopped dead in their tracks. And they also need to experience caring. Somebody needs to nourish them and build them up. That's what family's for. Growth needs, developing self-confidence. Self-confidence is the first requisite to great undertakings. Famous quote by Samuel Johnson. So self-confidence is key. And once self-confidence comes in, we can go wherever we want to go. Our ultimate goal is self-actualization. We want to realize our potential, what we're worth in life. So that way, and later on in life, we won't be full of guilt for not going the extra mile and achieving what we wanted to originally achieve. I work for the USDA. I think I said it before. It's a government job. The specific agency that I work for plays a huge role. We oversee agriculture, so all the food you guys eat. We build up economic development, rural communities. Rural communities are lagging behind across America. We ultimately want to build that up and give Americans better access to quality of life. Consequences, the opposite of being satisfied with your job. You're going to leave your job. It's going to leave a bad taste in the mouth of the company. Expectancy, so basically motivation. We expect something. We expect a certain outcome to come out of something, and the outcome determines how happy we are with the job. And Mars model is a big common key to what motivates us, our ability, what our personality is like, perceptions, emotions affect our ability, attitude, stress, role perceptions, and certain situational factors influence individual behavior. So throughout the course of this presentation, we talked to you guys about what motivates people, what is motivation, basically the theories behind motivation, what managers use to motivate people. We hope you enjoy our presentation. Thank you very much.
All right, I have an interesting request. Paige, can you start this presentation again and do the first 3 slides? I want to observe something.
So mean.
I know,
I
right?
got through
I'll give you
it.
a couple extra credit points because I'm being mean, and I recognize
I
that.
know I talk very fast.
Well, that's what I'm gonna say. Try to support your voice and project a little bit more.
I didn't know.
Are you
how to
serious?
do that. I'm kidding.
There you go.
Yeah, I mean, I talk fast in general, so when I'm nervous, it's even worse.
I feel like I scrolled through that.
That makes sense.
Oh, wait, hang on, sorry, I don't know how to use Mac. I don't have the computer.
And you can introduce, just whatever your first couple of
Whatever I
slides are.
did?
Yeah.
Okay, so I'll do that again. Okay, so hi everyone, my name is Paige, and this is Nick, Gabe, Val, and Brian. Sorry, and we're going to be presenting motivation. So I'm just going to go over, what motivation is, different strategies managers can use, why motivation is important, and then different theories on motivation. So first, what is motivation? So motivation is everyone's desire or willingness to do something. It's really the reason behind their actions and behavior. And everyone has experienced motivation, whether it's at work, at school, just in general with personal goals. So I'm just going to go into some examples. First off, Maslow's hierarchy of needs. So this has 5 different categories, which is self-actualization, love and belongingness, self-esteem needs, safety needs, and physiological needs. And basically, anytime someone's motivated, it tends to stem from one of these 5 categories. And then I'm going to go into the types of motivation. So first we have intrinsic motivation, which is internal, anything that comes from inside. So this is whether it's like curiosity in a subject, achievement, pride, or your interest, anything that comes from within you, any goals that you may have. So next example is going to be on goals. So everyone has goals, whether it's goals to lose weight, it's goals to get all A's when you're in college, or just to, have a goal to, be happy in life. Everyone has goals that they're each personally motivated by in different reasons. And overall, I have a goal, like I want to get straight A's if I can through this last semester, and I'm motivated by that, just like that. So achievement and pride. So if you want to, get good grades, you're going to be motivated by that achievement and that accomplishment, and you're going to be really proud of yourself if you're able to accomplish it. Thank you.
I was looking for your personal story, which was good grades.
Okay. Yeah, I didn't add a personal example in mine.
Well, you did.
Yeah, because I work in retail too, so I didn't want to bring that in because that was already used.
We get used to hearing the same things over and over again. Very well done. Thank you. Okay, so don't go anywhere yet. Dave, if you could just hand everybody else. So on your name tags, I recorded the score on the inside, which when I get your name tags back at the end of the semester is when I'll put it in the grade book. So don't erase that. But there's a sheet of paper in there that